Hi, welcome to the Nightly News. I'm Kyle Jones, filling in for Alex. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the NDAA. We'll look at the growing backlash taking place nationwide against the NDAA. We're going to look at a couple of states that have already nullified the NDAA in their state. And we'll look at two congressional candidates running for office in this fall's elections who have made their opposition to the NDAA a central part of their platform. But first, let's go down to Woodstock, Georgia, where a group of local activists are pressuring their state senator to introduce an NDAA nullification bill, much like the ones introduced in Virginia and Arizona. Let's see if it's working. This is Kyle Jones reporting live for Infowars.com here on an overcast Sunday afternoon in Woodstock, Georgia. We're standing out front of the Woodstock Public Library right now. We're getting ready to go in and talk to Senator Chip Rogers. He's hosting a town hall, and we're going to mention the NDAA to the senator. We've got a group of about 25 to 30 people strong. We're going to go in and talk to the senator, and we're all going to implore him to fight this NDAA legislation on the state level and get back our Fifth Amendment, get back our Bill of Rights. Let's get some interviews. Hans, what are your thoughts on the NDAA?
Well, it's a flagrant violation of the First, Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments.
It's horrible. It needs to be revoked. The entire thing just needs to be thrown out.
A statement about the NDAA, and I think that they did not know that my opponent, Phil Gingrey, voted for it, which is a travesty. It's a very, very dangerous piece of legislation, and I am going to work hard. I will work hard to repeal it.
The gentleman we're hearing from now is Michael Opitz. He's running for Congress in Georgia's 11th district. Now, this is an example of candidates now recognizing that opposition to the NDAA and defending the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, it's not just the moral thing to do, it's the politically popular thing to do. So this is one issue and one instance where those two things, which are often very much opposed, are one and the same. So candidates are recognizing this and they're picking it up. They know that this issue of liberty and maintaining our Bill of Rights, maintaining the Constitution is a popular issue. Let's go back to them.
And I will get on C-SPAN, I'll get on TV, and I'm going to expose this for what it is.
So clearly Opitz has gotten the message, or at least he's talking the talk. Now let's go see what Senator Chip Rogers thinks. Does he like the Constitution? Is he going to defend our Bill of Rights? Let's take a look. But this NDAA is very concerning to me. So just to recap, it was signed by President Obama on New Year's Eve at midnight, just so in the dark of night essentially. And it gives the executive branch sweeping discretion and new powers, including Section 1021, the ability to, at the executive's discretion, to detain persons who have substantially supported or associated with Al-Qaeda or the Taliban, or persons who are engaged in hostilities against the U.S. or coalition partners. I want to know your thoughts on it. I've actually been in contact with Susan Henry, who's one of the managers at your office, and I've sent her some info most recently on April 4th, detailing everything about it with some links. Now here's proof of that correspondence I was referring to. And I also wanted to mention that several states are already taking action against this. Virginia, they actually passed a nullification bill to nullify sections 1022 and 1021. The House passed it 96-4, and the Virginia Senate passed it 39-1. Here's the proof of the Virginia legislature's efforts, successful efforts, to veto the NDAA. Other states are on board, Senator. Where's Georgia? So those are veto-proof majorities. So I would like your thoughts on this, Senator, and I don't see a reason if Virginia can do this, because they're and we're every bit of a red state as they are. Why can't Georgia? Your thoughts?
Georgia can. Now, what he's talking about, just so you don't know, is a law passed by Congress, signed by it was the National Defense Authorization Bill, which contained a lot more than that, but it doesn't excuse that portion of it, which is horrendous idea that the government can take away your freedom for whatever purpose whatsoever if you haven't been convicted of a crime, or at least arrested and gone through the process. So I don't think anyone's going to disagree that we wish that wasn't in there. We wish that Congress would overturn that. We wish the President would get rid of that law. The question you're asking is what can the state do to simply nullify that law or any federal law for which we disagree?
To protect the citizens of the state.
Right. I'm in agreement with that. I think the problem we ran into in this case was a timing issue of Congress passes that law, we go into our session, which we've now completed, and being able to take what they did and in quick time turn it around to pass our own nullification law. Perhaps we should have done it this year. If you will supply us with enough information, we will do our very best to address that with proper planning so that it gets introduced and passed next year.
Now, the senator sounds very reasonable there, but again, here's the correspondence between myself and his office. He asked for me to send him the information. I've already sent it to him. I sent it to him just about a month ago. Plus, the senator said he already knew about it. When I mentioned it, he talked about how there were those bad provisions in there and how he wished they weren't there and whatnot. So he clearly already knew. Why does he need the information from me? Come on, Senator.
And we had 2 U.S. senators who are Republican and our congressmen approve this NDAA. So it's not a Republican-Democrat issue. To me, it's just terrifying. Why are they doing this? Why do they want to arrest us?
If I can also interject one more thing, Senator, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry, Senator Rogers.
We talked for an hour about education. This is kind of important.
John and I are in the Georgia General Assembly, and I hear about nullification law. We'll go back in the General Assembly again in January. I would strongly ask that you go to their town hall meetings and ask those congressmen and those senators why they have.
Well, if you're in jail in January. We have.
But it's not Republican Democrat issue. My point is, it's a federal government. Why are they grabbing all this power from the federal government? And what can we do to protect Georgia citizens from this federal government?
You have to let the right people.
Senator, but protecting Georgia citizens is every bit your job as it is Tom Price's job and Senator Johnny Ising's job as well.
I understand. I didn't ask that vote.
I know, but we have the power to nullify it, and like that power.
Don't you just love the senator's attitude? I mean, it's not like he took an oath or anything to uphold the Constitution and protect it from enemies foreign and domestic. This is not your fault, is it, Senator?
I didn't ask that vote. I didn't ask that vote. I didn't ask that vote.
I can't listen to this anymore. Let's go to Delegate Bob Marshall from Virginia. Delegate Marshall, how are you today?
Well, I'm busy in between going from one place to another around Virginia, but I'm glad this fight is over on 1160.
Delegate, I want to ask you, I talk to a lot of folks down here. I have a lot of Ron Paul activists who are my friends, liberty type folks. I have a lot of folks you might call liberal minded. And then I have some friends who just aren't politically involved, aren't politically active, don't really follow what's going on. And no one seems to like this NDAA. So what kind of response have you gotten up there in Virginia since you've really taken on this issue?
Well, I actually had John Birch, ACLU, I had your standard, what the people say are the rhino Republicans. I mean, I could not find people who were supporting this at all, other than a very small select group in the Assembly. I mean, the final version passed 89-7. And, I mean, frankly, there were some heavyweight neocons who tried to weigh in on this. The guy who used to head DHS, who sells the equipment to a DHS to frisk people electronically. So other than some people who were just having a great affection for executive power unhampered, I can't find average citizens doing this.
Now, Delegate Marshall, I want to ask you, what would you say to state legislators like Chip Rogers who tend to have a more reproachful and less aggressive attitude when it comes to taking on this NDAA? So Senator Rogers is a legislator who speaks with language that's very Ron Paul-esque, very Delegate Bob Marshall-esque. But when it comes to this NDAA issue, he's very hands-off and he seems to want to avoid it. What would you say to legislators like him?
They have the knowledge that this is going on. If they don't, they need to find out very shortly. They have the authority to act. They do not have to cooperate with this. They took an oath of office to defend the Constitution, among which is the right to have a trial where you face your accuser, where you have counsel, where there are specific charges. This is a dereliction of duty, not to step forward and protect the rights of those nobody had a gun placed to their head to run for office. Every state legislator, there's about 6,500 of us in the United States, voluntarily chose this. You need to act with the knowledge, the authority, and the duty of your office to protect your citizens, and maybe Congress will wake up. And if they don't wake up, replace the ones that don't want to protect these rights.
Delegate Marshall, thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Thank you, Tom.
So the meeting has concluded. All the attendees have gone home. The two senators have gone their respective ways. We had a pretty good turnout, I would say. We had roughly 15 to 20 Info Warriors show up and support our cause. So I'm optimistic about where things can go, but we know the fight's not over. We're going to keep showing up at these town hall meetings, keep pressuring the senator, keep sending those emails, and keep on fighting the Info War. I'm Kyle Jones for Infowars.com. Have a great day.